Howdy folks, I'm Brian and here's some Reddit. Our first story is titled, Am I the Jerk for Accidentally Poisoning My Girlfriend? My girlfriend is 27 and I'm a 30-year-old male and we've lived together for 3 years, almost 4. I think it's relevant to know that this is both of our houses. Probably also relevant to note that it's just the two of us in the house, no kids, no roommates. I was working from home one day and girlfriend was at work and I was washing the dishes when I realized the sink was draining pretty slow. Like there was a blockage or built up or something. I went to the laundry to get some drain cleaner, which is like this granular crystal type product. This may be true for all drain cleaners, but I'm just clarifying that it wasn't liquid or anything. And I returned to the kitchen. The packaging says put 1 teaspoon of drain cleaner in the drain, leave for 15 minutes, and then run the tap. So I grabbed a teaspoon, yes, the ones we eat with, though I can't say that we eat with teaspoons super often. I scooped out the Drano and popped it down the drain. Then, since I couldn't rinse it immediately without breaking the rules of the drain cleaner that said to wait 15 minutes, I chucked the spoon in that spot between the faucet and the wall behind the sink, where you would normally chuck a dirty rag or a spoon with poison on it. Fast forward a few hours, and my girlfriend is arriving home from work, and I have obviously forgotten about the spoon with the drain cleaner. I'm sitting on the couch, and I hear a blah, or something to the effect from the kitchen. I jump out of my seat and spin around, because our kitchen and living room are the same room pretty much, and the following conversation ensues. Girlfriend, what was on the spoon? Me, drain cleaner. Now for the two sides of the argument, why she thinks I'm a jerk and I think that she's just wrong. Girlfriend, why would you leave a spoon with drain cleaner lying around? Me, why would you randomly put a dirty spoon that was lying around in your mouth? My girlfriend claimed that she was going to have tea or coffee and saw the spoon, remember, in the dirty spot of the counter behind the sink that looked like it had sugar residue on it, and wanted a test to confirm it was sugar prior to reusing the spoon for her drink. I think it's important to note that we are not spoon poor or anything. We are not forced to share a single spoon. She was standing roughly 30 centimeters or 12 inches for Americans in the room from a drawer full of clean spoons. Obviously, the strongest part of her argument is that this was a dining spoon. I'm not suggesting that leaving a spoon dusted with poison lying around is a particularly responsible move. My claim is that far more outrageous and strange just to be walking around putting random spoons in your mouth to test them for reuse. The issue has split our friend group down the middle. So I ask you, Reddit, am I the jerk? P.S. My girlfriend is alive and well. Edit. My girlfriend would like to clarify that she did not put the entire spoon in her mouth, but touched her tongue to it to see if it was a crystal of salt or sugar. Also, there was no drain cleaner package in sight. Alright, OP, I'm gonna have to say that you're both in the wrong here. It was extremely dangerous to use a spoon like that and then just to leave it around. I think that this was pretty bad. And the thing is that if she sees crystals on a spoon, then she's probably going to assume the first thing is that it's salt or sugar. So there's not a whole lot of expectation that a spoon is going to be dusted in poison. Like, if it's a spoon you use to eat, then probably the assumption is that it's going to be either salt or sugar. And most of the time, your girlfriend would probably be right. She saw what looked like a mostly clean spoon, all except for with a couple of crystals in it. Honestly, I don't know how you forgot a spoon with poison on it, to be quite honest. Like, the thing is that you should have taken it into the bathroom to clean or any number of things. And honestly, like, why not just use like a plastic scoop? Like, there are a lot of different things you could have used here, and I think a metal spoon that you eat with is probably the least desirable of all the choices. So yeah, I mean, I think that you're both kind of in the wrong here. I honestly think that your girlfriend was probably just trying to save dishes here. She saw a spoon that looked mostly clean, and then she tasted it, fortunately with just the tip of her tongue, because she wanted to put sugar in her tea. Now, it's really fortunate that she tested it ahead of time, because if she hadn't and she had just dug into your sugar with drain cleaner all over it and then used it in her tea, she could have been seriously ill. So again, if you are ever dealing with poisonous materials, make sure to dispose of them immediately. That's how accidents happen. Just make sure that any residue of them is gone. Like, you don't want to accidentally have people eat poison of any kind. So yeah, I mean, it's really good that your girlfriend ended up being alive and well out of the situation, but this could have gone very, very differently. So yeah, everyone's the jerk here. The girlfriend is mostly at fault, but OP really should be more careful with chemicals. Do not mix eating and chemical spoons for this exact reason. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying before. Everyone's the jerk. You do not simply leave chemicals or utensils that were used for chemicals laying around. You do not use utensils that you would use for eating to prepare chemicals, especially potentially poisonous ones. Yep. You do not simply put utensils that have been laying around in your mouth regardless of whether it looks clean or not. Yeah, I think this one is probably a really good encapsulation. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Abusing My Stepkids? So please hear me out. If I'm deemed the jerk, I will drop things. I have 2 stepkids with my current husband, a 7-year-old male and an 8-year-old male. We get them every other weekend. They're great kids, but very rowdy, and they can get quite messy. I started noticing that when they use the bathroom, they don't always flush the toilet or wash their hands after. They also don't brush their teeth. I started gently every day, just saying simply, Sam, could you please flush the toilet when you're done? Or, hey, George, remember to wash your hands. A few days ago, George threw a fit and said something like, my mom doesn't make me wash my hands. And I calmly told him that germs were made that way and it could make him really sick. Well, my husband overheard me and told me to mind my own business because he doesn't want to cause drama with the ex. Well, somehow the ex got a hold of it anyways and blew up at my husband on the phone. She started claiming that I was abusing her kids with my demands and threatening not to let him see his kids now. Well, now my husband isn't talking to me and blames me for trying to mother his kids that aren't mine. I feel awful, and that was never my intention. So am I the jerk for bringing up this issue? No, you're not the jerk for bringing up this issue. You aren't doing anything to these kids. So a parent's job is to facilitate in the role of a child growing up. So while these kids aren't biologically yours, they're still in your family, and you still have every right to help with their raising. They're your stepkids. And for your husband to basically say, oh no, you can't parent your children is a recipe for disaster. He's clearly not doing his part in parenting the kids, especially if he's not standing in a unified front with you to make sure that his kids are following some very basic tenets of cleanliness. So yeah, I don't think that you're a jerk here. I don't think you're doing anything wrong, and I think that you really need to sit down and have a conversation with your husband about the expectations for the kids, develop a unified front for what their expectations are, and that way you two are actually parenting and they don't hear you with some kind of conflict about how you expect to have the kids raised. Also, there's no way any judge is going to be like, oh yeah, forcing kids to wash their hands, that's totally a reason for abusing kids. That's just not going to happen. So if she even were to bring this up to the court, then as long as you told your side of the story, I don't think there would be any issue here, and she could risk losing the kids anyway. So yeah, that's a really weird situation. Not the jerk, please inform your husband that you will no longer be involved with his children in any manner. No cooking, feeding, watching, sitting, cleaning, laundry, etc., or anything having to do with their care because you don't want to mother his kids that aren't yours. You will no longer lift a finger nor say a word to his children as to not cause drama. Not the jerk, your husband's ex is the abuser. Doesn't make her kids wash their hands, flush the toilet, and brush their teeth. This is basic hygiene, and the ex is not teaching her children, if not outright refusing to do so. This goes beyond bad parenting. Her behavior is abusive. She shouldn't be a parent if she can't keep her kids clean and healthy, much less refusing to do so. Honestly, this might be an overestimation, but maybe you should contact CPS OP. If the kid's mother really isn't teaching our kids to take care of themselves, or doesn't do it herself, she shouldn't be their legal guardian. So, I mean, it's really hard to say. Like, we don't necessarily know what the kids told her. And the kids may very well clean and wash and stuff like that at the other house. So this might be a little bit of a stretch here because we honestly don't know what the kids told her. The kids could have gone over to her house and then been like, she's being mean to us and forcing us to do stuff that we don't want to do. And they may not have even told her what that was. And so it's really hard to say because, you know, if these kids are acting like brats, then they're going to do whatever they can to leverage the ex to, you know, basically bend to their will. All right, our last story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Boyfriend I Won't Stop Drinking Hot Tea? Sorry, but this is an alt. I had to make one because my boyfriend and his friends are borderline harassing me on all my social media. I don't want him to know about this. Anyway, I like tea. I have about 3 to 4 cups of hot tea today. Tea brings me so much happiness and peace. I won't go into the details, but just know it brings me back a lot of happy memories from my childhood. My boyfriend, whom I'll call Josh, didn't mind my tea drinking. Our first date was even at a tea house. He doesn't drink as much tea as me, but he will have a cup in the morning, or if I offer to make him a cup. Recently, Josh went to the hospital complaining about pain, and they found that he had some pretty bad kidney stones. Thankfully, they said that he would pass them on his own and gave him some meds and a list of things that he couldn't eat or drink. You know, the do's and don'ts of what cause kidney stones. Well, I woke up in the morning to make myself a cup of tea and the kettle was gone. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it, so I asked Josh. He said he threw it out because tea is on his list of things that could cause kidney stones. He didn't want the temptation around anymore and even went as far as to blame me for the stone. I love my boyfriend, however, we have totally different diets. I do my best to drink plenty of water, avoid fast food, and always cook for myself. If I order out, I try to find a healthy choice on the menu. I'm working on losing some weight, so I do my best to stay on track. Josh pretty much pees out Red Bull, Mountain Dew, and Dr. Pepper. He loves junk food and will opt for greasy fast food burgers over the grilled chicken that I made for dinner. It's rare to see him drinking water. In fact, he has his own little mini fridge fully stocked with soda and Red Bull. I told him that it wasn't my problem that he had a kidney stone and that having a cup of tea wasn't going to ruin anything. He snapped and said that as his boyfriend, I should go through this with him because we're a couple. I need to give up my tea so he'll get better. He even said that he asked his mom if she wanted the tea I had in the apartment so he wouldn't have to see it. Again, I said that a cup of tea isn't causing his stupid kidney stone, that it's him drinking up to 6 Dr. Peppers a day, and that I will not stop having a cup of tea because of him. I am not responsible for his health. After that, I took my tea, my stuff, and went back to my apartment. We don't live together, I just stay over sometimes. Since then, Josh, his friends, and even his mom have been blowing me up on social media and my phone. They are calling me awful things, saying that I'm selfish and that I should think of Josh in his time of need. So Reddit, am I the jerk here? Edit, so last night I drank some wine, curled up in my bed, and cried myself to sleep. I felt like my world was ending and it was all my fault. I kept thinking of how I can fix this and realized that I can't. Josh did blow things out of the water. I'm just too much of a softie. I texted him this morning telling him it's over and to either come and get his things or I'm just going to leave them on the steps. I also updated and posted all of my social media accounts about what happened and that we are broken up now and that if messages continue, I will make steps to contact the police over harassment. All of this made me see that for our whole relationship, I've been Josh's freaking doormat. I'm not going to do that anymore. Thank you so much, everyone. I really needed someone to say wake up and smell the tea. Josh is single if anyone wants him. He likes soda, Red Bull, American Dad, and not cooking. Thanks again, and I'm flattered to everyone that thought I was a girl. That gave me a bit of a laugh too and cheered me up. Now I'm going to go get ready for work, drink my morning tea, and have an amazing day. Reddit, you will always have the best people in the world willing to help a complete stranger see the light. So I'm glad that they ended up breaking things off if they were being treated like a doormat and things in the relationship weren't very good for them. So it's good to see that they were able to do a bit of self-reflection and see, the situation for what it was. And sometimes, that's life. Sometimes we need an outside perspective. So as for whether you're a jerk or not, I'm of course going to say that you're not a jerk here. Where I think that Josh probably overreacted was that he was trying to force you to not drink tea. I think it was probably reasonable for him to remove tea from his apartment if that's really what he wanted to do, since it sounds like you two have two separate apartments. But I don't think it was reasonable for him to force you to stop drinking tea. So yeah, again, really sorry to hear that he was treating you poorly, and hopefully things get better for you. I'm sorry to hear also that people were harassing you about this. I mean, it seems really odd that people were harassing you on social media. And I will point out one last thing. So a lot of times, partners will support their partners in their diets and whatnot. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And, but that needs to come from a personal decision. So if you have a dietary restriction and your partner doesn't, it might be nice to help them if this is like something that was tempting for them to, avoid it. But honestly, like what OP was saying, it sounded like the big issue wasn't the tea in this case. It was all the Red Bull and sodas and whatnot, and all the fast food. So again, I don't think OP was wrong to not wanting to give up their tea. If tea had been a big temptation for his boyfriend, then I think it would have been polite for OP not to drink tea around him. But again, that doesn't sound like this was the case. It just sounds like he wanted them both to be on the same diet so that he wouldn't be lonesome in this, kidney stone diet. When, this has nothing to do with OP because OP's already eating healthy and already taking good care of themselves. So yeah. Not the jerk, your boyfriend is being ridiculous. This can't even be blamed on poor self-control, as you've said that he seldom drinks tea. It's strange that his friends are harassing you on social media over something so petty. I suspect he told them a different story, which could be another concern. Do you plan on moving in with this man in the future? Has he acted like this before over minuscule issues? Well then, OP replies, I'm sure he told them a different story based on some of the messages and comments I've received. So yeah, I guess if that's the case, then it's really good that this person got away from them. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you didn't, consider giving me a thumbs down. Also, consider subscribing if you've made it this far in the video. Also, consider subscribing if you've made it this far. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, consider subscribing. Why not? I release new videos every single day. And, yeah. You'll get to see more of this. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you all tomorrow.